Is fishing one of your hobbies?
Well, I have done a lot of fishing off and on through the years, some down off Florida some time ago. Then during our honeymoon, we went to Mexico, and I fished down there. That's the dirtiest lot. We better just, and I went fishing down there. Let's change that.
Good morning, all you ladies who may be there. I'm very happy that you could be with us at home with all of my family this morning. If you would like to call with any questions about my record in the Senate or my stand on any issue, please call me right now at Stadium 2-0270 or Stadium 2-0271 or 0272. Jackie, Jean, and Eunice will act as my operators and give your calls to me. You think that our light bill is too high? Well, the regulation of lights and the price of those commodities comes under the state commission. It doesn't come under the federal government, and I really haven't got information on it to give you a really intelligent answer. How many babies did you kiss in this campaign? Well, I didn't kiss enough, I guess, but I did manage to. There didn't seem to be much desire on their part, but in any case, we saw a lot of mothers whose hands we shook in.
Oh, well.
I think your wife will make a better senator than you. What do you think? I agree with her.
Oh.
In any case, I have the benefit of her advice.
Thank you very much.
So maybe I'll improve.
Yes.
And now, I'd like to have you come over and meet what I hope is our greatest rooter, but is our greatest campaign worker in the future, our daughter Caroline. Caroline, why don't you come over here and see what's going on?
Election Day is just 1 week away. Next Tuesday, exercise your right to vote and re-elect Senator John F. Kennedy, United States Senator.
Bobby, my brother Bobby, who managed the campaign, perhaps he could give us some idea, more up to date, of what the final figures were.
Well, I think that from what we got up to about 20 minutes ago, that we were winning by about 70,000, and there's about 100,000 more votes to come in, and I think that plurality will remain.
Yes, that's out of about 2,250,000.
Yeah. So I think that's about 5% of the vote.
Good, fine. Well, I guess you're glad it's over, aren't you, Bobby?
I am, Jack.
I would like to ask Senator Kennedy, how can we stop the religious issues that keep coming up to confuse the public?
Well, I think that, I don't mind. I must say that we shouldn't boo, because it's I am running for the presidency, which is a powerful office, given great power under the Constitution, and it is a matter of concern to a good many people, and the best way to get it answered, it seems to me, is to ask the question openly and permit me to say that I support strongly the Constitution. I support strongly the separation of church and state. I believe it's the best arrangement for our society. I'm associated with it. Ma'am, I want to assure you that if I'm elected president, or if I'm elected president, or if I continue in the Senate, that I shall continue my devotion to the Constitution and support of it. Okay.
Let me make one thing clear. Senator Kennedy has a responsibility to criticize those things that are wrong, but he has also a responsibility to be right in his criticism.
I really don't need Mr. Nixon to tell me about what my responsibilities are as a citizen. I've served this country for 14 years in the Congress, and before that in the service. I have just as high a devotion, just as high an opinion. What I downgrade, Mr. Nixon, is the leadership the country's getting, not the country.
Shortly after the Bay of Pigs, I asked you how you liked being president. And as I remember, you said you liked it better before the event. Now you've had a chance to appraise your job. Why do you like it, and why do you want to stay in office 4 more years?
Well, I find the work rewarding. Whether I'm going to stay and what my intentions are and all the rest seems to me still many months away. But as far as the job of president goes, it's rewarding. And I've given before to this group the definition of happiness of the Greeks. I'll define it again. With full use of your powers along lines of excellence. I find that, therefore, the president provides some happiness.
What's the man doing?
Mrs. Kennedy, would you introduce this most talkative member of your family?
This is my daughter, Caroline Kennedy, who's 2 years old. Can you say good morning?
Doesn't appear to care too much for the cameras here. Mrs. Kennedy, you have the one child, and you have a husband who's a candidate for the presidency. How does it feel to be the wife of a candidate?
I suppose it depends on the candidate, but I enjoy being married to John Kennedy very much.
Is it a good thing, do you think?
Oh, I do. As you know, Ollie, under the Constitution, the Vice President's only job is to vote in case of ties. Well, we only have a tie maybe once a year, so that doesn't give him much responsibility. But in the last few years, he's been given greater responsibility, and I think it's a good thing. He may be called upon to succeed to the presidency at any time, and therefore I think that it's very good that he have that his responsibilities become closer to that of the president, even though, of course, the final responsibility must be the president. So I think it is fine.
Do you feel that it has happened mostly during this particular administration because the president hasn't been able to make so many trips?
Well, I think as our responsibilities become more worldwide, then I think that the job of the president, of course, is an almost impossible one. I think Harry Truman said it was impossible, and that therefore I think that any way that he can ease his burden, I think the vice president's trip to Africa was a good idea as a personal representative of the president. So I think it's very valuable, and I think it will continue regardless of who is the president.
I noticed before you said there were 5 senators you had to choose, and that Mr. Truman said there were 70-odd that
I know,
he
he
could think
feels
of.
it's an impossible. It's like the 5 greatest ball players,
I
the 5
know.
best cooks, or anything. So
what a difficult task it is. This has really been a very special visit with both of you this morning, one that all of us on home are going to remember with a great deal of pleasure, and we learned quite a lot about politics as a career and the advantages and drawbacks. Senator Kennedy, I wonder, when you sum up what you feel young people should think about if they are contemplating politics as their future?
Well, I think this is a serious time in the life of our country, perhaps the most serious, and we're in a great struggle for survival with the Soviet Union, and we have many great problems here at home. But I think that if all of us recognize that we have responsibilities as well as rights and duties as well as privileges, especially in a country like the United States where we, all of us, have the final responsibility for whatever action we take. If we recognize that we've been given a great country and that we've been most fortunate, and that if all of us practice the virtues of good citizenship and self-restraint, which I think we can do and which we have done through our history, then I think we can look forward to the future, all of us, young and old, office holders and citizens, with a good deal of confidence and hope.
Soon, with your help, on this site, a 5th presidential library will become a reality. It will never be a dead place, merely housing relics and papers of the past. That would not be fitting for John Kennedy, who was so intensely involved in life. It will grow and change with the times. Now he will not see the library to be erected in his name, but his parents and brothers and sisters and I all look on it as his memorial. We want a beautiful building to rise along the banks of the Charles. When that building is completed, it will be turned over to the government and will become the property of the people of the United States forever. My husband believes so strongly that one's aim should not just be the most comfortable life possible, but that we should all do something to right the wrongs we see and not just complain about them. We owe that to our country, and our country will suffer if we don't serve her. He believed that one man can make a difference and that every man should try. That is why I know that the library will be the best memorial of all, the one which would have pleased him most, for it will be an institution which enlists young Americans and young people everywhere in the understanding and practice of democratic political life and service.
Mr. Salinger, as a, quote, young and inexperienced White House publicity man, end quote, I questioned the advisability of having him visit the Soviet Union. I wonder if you have any comments.
I know there are always some people who feel that Americans are always young and inexperienced and foreigners are always able and tough and great negotiators, but I don't think that the United States acquired its present position of leadership in the free world if that view were correct. Now, he also, as I saw the press, said that Mr. Salinger's main job was to increase my standing in the Gallup poll.
Having done that, he's now moving on to...
I spoke a year ago today to take the inaugural, and I'd like to paraphrase a couple of statements I made that day by saying that we observe tonight not a celebration of freedom, but a victory of party. For we are sworn to pay off the same party debt our forebears ran up nearly a year and 3 months ago. Our deficit will not be paid off in the next 100 days, nor will it be paid off in the first 1,000 days, nor in the life of this administration, nor perhaps even in our lifetime on this planet, but let us begin. Remembering that generosity is not a sign of weakness, and that ambassadors are always subject to Senate confirmation. For if the Democratic Party cannot be helped by the many who are poor, it cannot be saved by the few who are rich. So let us begin.
The worst deficit comes from a recession. And if we can take the proper action in the proper time, this can be the most important step we could take to prevent another recession. That is the right kind of a tax cut, both for your family budget and the national budget, resulting from a permanent basic reform and reduction in our rate structure, a creative tax cut, creating more jobs and income, and eventually more revenue. And the right time for that kind of bill, it now appears, in the absence of an economic crisis today, and if the job is to be done in a responsible way, is January 1963. Such a bill will be presented to the Congress for action next year. It will include an across-the-board, top-to-bottom cut in both corporate and personal income taxes. It will include long-needed tax reforms that logic and equity demand. And it will date that cut in taxes to take effect as of the start of next year, January 1963. The billions of dollars this bill will place in the hands of the consumer and our businessmen will have both immediate and permanent benefits to our economy. Every dollar released from taxation that is spent or invested will help create a new job and a new salary. And these new jobs and new salaries can create other jobs and other salaries, and more customers and more growth for an expanding American economy. Instead of being permanently saddled with excess planned capacity and the budgetary deficit that is created by this means, our goal must be full capacity and full employment and the budgetary surpluses that that kind of employment and capacity can produce.